I'm going to go ahead and give a 30-second warning, so everybody please take your seats. 30-second warning, please take your seats. Silence your cell phones, please. Please take your seats. We'll be starting in 30 seconds. Please take your seats. We're going to start our meeting this evening. Thank you for bearing with us while we had a short delay. We are calling to order the June 28th, 2022 Gilbert Council meeting. First, we will have our invocation by President Jeff Tenney of the Church of Latter-day Saints. Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, President. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here. My name is President Jeff Tenney from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Just want to quickly take the opportunity, Mayor and Council, to say thank you for your service, for all that you do, for giving your time and talents and energies. Not that we need to brag, but Gilbert is an incredibly happy place to live, so thank you. And also just noticing that there are several from the police department, fire department, and other public safety and probably other public service people here tonight, so thank you. Thank you for your service. I'll offer a prayer now. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful tonight for the opportunity we have to be here, recognize the many blessings that we have that have come from Thee. We're grateful for the leadership of this town and pray Thy blessings to be upon them of wisdom and safety, and that they will feel appreciated from those who benefit from their service. We pray a special blessing of protection to be upon those here tonight and throughout the town who work in public safety. Please keep them safe and help them to do their jobs effectively. We also pray a special blessing tonight on the family and friends of Mayor Barney in Queen Creek, and pray that their entire community will feel comforted at this time of his passing. We ask Thee to bless us here for the proceedings tonight, that we will have good judgment, that the leadership and those who contribute will have clear minds and make good decisions. And we offer this prayer humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, President, and thank you so much for mentioning our friend and neighbor, Mayor Gil Barney, who passed away suddenly last week. A week ago today, I was in a Phoenix Mesa Gateway board meeting with him, and he had called in for the meeting, but I serve on several committees with him, and he sounded better than he had in months. And so when he passed during the week last week, I was just completely shocked and saddened, and I've lost a friend and a mentor. So thank you very much for mentioning Mayor Barney. Next, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilmember Anderson, please.
Please rise and join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chiavelli, can we please have a roll call?
Mayor Bridget Peterson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Amy Yenthes.
Here.
Councilmember Scott Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Lauren Hendricks. Present. Councilmember Jan Kaprowski.
Here.
Councilmember Scott September.
Here.
And Councilmember Kathy Tilkey.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you, Chiavelli. Can we check our sound, please, because we're getting a lot of feedback. Thanks, Kelsey.
The speakers weren't on before, now they seem a little hot.
Oh, okay, so they're coming on strong tonight. First, we have a proclamation of Active People Healthy Nation Month, and that will be presented by Councilmember Kathy Tilkey.
Good evening. Is Nikki Blasi here? Please come down. We're going to present the proclamation to you. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. This proclamation is titled Active People, Healthy Nation Month. Whereas Gilbert, Arizona is committed to supporting a thriving, vibrant, and healthier community for residents of all ages and abilities, and whereas obesity is emerging as the largest health risk in Americans young and old, and whereas physical activity is vital for healthy aging and the reduction of chronic diseases, and whereas Gilbert, Arizona supports the achievable, measurable, and sustainable efforts to increase physical activity across the community found in the Active People, Healthy Nation, Healthy Campaign partnership between the American Public Health Association, the CDC, and American Heart Association, and whereas every Active People, Healthy Nation strategy is designed to support the goal of equitable and inclusive access to opportunities for physical activity, and now therefore, on behalf of Bridget Peterson, Mayor of the town of Gilbert, do hereby proclaim June 2022 as Active People, Healthy Nation Month. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much on behalf of the American Heart Association. I'm honored to be here. It's so wonderful to see leaders like-minded and focusing on health and wellness. So we really appreciate this and look forward to it.
Thanks, Nikki. Did you get the photo, or do you? Thanks, Nikki.
Our next presentation is a special one for us this evening. Although he's not actually physically retiring and leaving Gilbert Fire and Rescue Department till July 7th, tonight is Chief Jim Joe Bush's last council meeting as the chief of the Gilbert Fire and Rescue Department. Can I ask you and your lovely wife, Beth, to come and please join me? She's already shaking her head no. I know how much Chief loves to be in the spotlight, but we wanted to be able to recognize his long career that he has held. It's been 40 years in public safety. That's 40. He started in the town of Gilbert 30 years ago in 1992 as one of our very first firefighters here for Gilbert Fire and Rescue Department. He has now served as our chief for the past 9 years. During the time that Jim Joe Bush has served as chief of the town of Gilbert, he has watched our last 2 fire stations be built. Station 7 at Cooper and Warner was moved from further up Cooper Road, and Station 9 at Higley and Ocotillo, which houses the illustrious ladder truck known as Big Nellie in honor of James Nelson, who we also lost during your time as chief. Chief Joe Bush was instrumental in bringing the 9/11 memorial to the town of Gilbert. He tells a great story during the 9/11 event each year of how if you asked to have a piece of the towers, you had to guarantee that you could go and pick that piece up and bring it back to your hometown or city. And he, and then Chief Colin DeWitt, drove across the country to New York, picked up that beam, and drove it all the way back to Gilbert, Arizona. They had some incredible interactions along the way with the public that wanted to take the opportunity to be able to touch that beam as it made its journey across the country back to the town of Gilbert. He also was incredibly instrumental in the design and creation of the building that we're standing in. When we started the discussions of this building, I don't know if any of us thought that it would actually come to fruition. wait. I wanted it to. I worked very hard. But we never thought it would actually happen. And here we are. I believe this building is definitely exceeding my expectations. I hope that it has exceeded your expectations. Last May, when we stood here and did the formal ribbon cutting on this building, I actually joked with you, Chief, I don't know if you remember, and I said, I kind of expected you to make a speech and then you were gonna do a mic drop. I won't do it. They'll get mad at me. And be like, peace out, people, I'm retiring. And you said, no, I'm staying because I have another job to do. And that is to make sure that the ambulance service gets up and running. We came to this room and we watched the brand new paramedics and EMTs receive their EMT 1, 2, 3, etc. badges. We watched the brand new paramedics receive their 1, 2, 3 badges. We've now done 2 fire academies and 2 graduations in that year. We have a 3rd academy coming up for Gilbert Fire and Rescue Department. And that ambulance service is almost a year old, and it is doing way more business, pickups, servicing our residents than our former contracted ambulance service was doing previous to us taking on our own ambulance service. Gilbert Fire and Rescue Department is a family, and when they envelop you, you know it. They've enveloped me, and I know it. And I know that it also takes your own family and the Joe Bush family to stand beside you and be there waiting for you while you were spending time here with us or in our 11 stations. You weren't at home with Beth and your family and your Joe Bush family. So we appreciate everything that you have done for the town of Gilbert. We wish you all the best. I won't try and say the whole same thing that I just did at your actual retirement on July 7th. I'll keep it shorter, okay? I just have the opportunity to do this with you here tonight. Thank you, Beth. Thank you to your family for letting us have Jim Joe Bush for 30 years in the Gilbert Fire and Rescue Department. I don't know. I know you, Beth. You have a nice long honey-do list for him to do, right? In one of the houses, right? So we want to present you with this plaque presented to Chief Jim Joe Bush for your outstanding service and dedication to the residents, businesses, and visitors of the town of Gilbert, Arizona.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Council. Appreciate the recognition. And thank you to all of you for that. I really do appreciate that. It's not something I strive for, is to have attention, so it's as the mayor knows. But I do appreciate the recognition. It's been my honor to not only be the fire chief in Gilbert for the last 9 years, but to be part of this community and the department for 30 years. And when I first came to Gilbert, there was only one fire station. Heritage District was not the Heritage District. Roads were 2 lanes. Many of them were dirt. And it was mostly alfalfa fields and hay field or cotton fields. So it's changed a lot. And the mayor mentioned family, and I'll start with the fire family. And we have grown, obviously, like the rest of the town, and there's something about the fire service where once you're in, you're not only part of the family as co-workers, but you're part of the family with their families. So you all become a big family. And, firefighters live together. They spend a third of their time living with their coworkers. And so, you see where the connection comes from and why it's so important to have that family. And Mayor also mentioned my family, and I've been fortunate. They've been very supportive along the way, and not just supportive. They've been part of the fire family, and they've loved it. And they've gone to calls with me over the years. They've ridden on the truck with me. They've been part of our events, and you have to have that in this job. It's very taxing. And you have to have that family connection and be able to rely on them. And I'm very thankful that they were there for me and supportive of that and part of what we do. And that's awesome. So I won't carry on too much, but I want to say thanks to all of you, the community, to the town manager's office, Leah, Patrick, Mary, I remember your name, and Dawn. And everyone else. I mean, there are so many people. I shouldn't name names because there are so many people to thank. But it's great to have had the support we've had. Great people in the department in this place. It wasn't my deal. I just let people do their job, and they had great vision and worked hard to bring this facility and everything else we have to Gilbert. And I'm very proud of that and proud of them. So thank you to everyone. I appreciate the recognition. Thank you, Mayor. Council.
Don't move. We have a video that we need to show. So you're going to stay right here. Beth's going to stay with you. Beth's going to stay with you up to the front here. Okay? And we have a video to share. Because I know you love the attention. So we know you always drive the old fire engine for all of the parades, so we got you a replica. We know you're going to miss it, and I hope there's more than one person that knows how to drive that, because I heard the last time was only maybe Bob Badgett, Assistant Chief, that knows how to drive that old fire engine, or is it Mark Justice? I'm not sure. Oh, it's you? Okay. We need to make sure we have somebody to drive that truck in the parades in the future. And then we have this beautiful shadow box for you with a key to the town of Gilbert. Wow. And all of the challenge coins that we could find.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for your service, Jim. It's been a great 7 years working with you.
Oh, you want my head up?
Would you like to say anything? This is an important night for you, too. Are you sure? I'm giving you the chance. Council, we'd like to do a photo with everybody with the chief, please. We are finished with our presentation portion of the agenda. We will now move into communications from citizens. Vice Mayor?
Full house, Mayor. I know. Congratulations, Chief. The Gilbert Town Council values citizen input. Anyone wishing to speak before council must have filled out one of these, put it in the bin outside the hall. The communications from citizens portion on the agenda provides citizens an opportunity to identify for the town council matters of interest or concern related to town government that are not printed on the agenda. Under the provisions of the Arizona open meeting law, the town council is prohibited from responding to issues that have not been properly noticed. Therefore, the town council may only listen to citizens who wish to address them on non-agenda items. We regret that the town council can't respond beyond thanking you for your comments. We do ask that everybody maintain decorum and respectful in their comments, and I think we have 3 minutes is our typical time for each speaker. We don't allow people to give or divest their time to other speakers, so if you do want to speak, make sure you fill out one of these cards and get it to the town clerk. And when we when we call your name down, just come down to the podium, state your name and where you live, and then you'll have those 3 minutes. And there's a clock here so you can keep track of your time. Let's see. For our first speaker, we have Eric Natty. You could come down, and then we'll have Terry Natty on deck. And just a reminder for the audience, we don't clap or boo or make, if you feel like you need to do an amen, do it with the hands. So thanks.
Good evening. So last time I was here, we were addressing an issue that we're having with the town of Gilbert wanting to use eminent domain or possibly purchase property from a lot of us for the widening of Ocotillo. A process which me and about 10 of my neighbors, or including my wife, I guess, are opposed to. It's unnecessary. I'll let my wife speak to that because she's done all the research, but I asked you before to take what you need, not what you want. So tonight I was here for the study session and I noticed something. Everybody that came up to speak during the study session was talking about increased costs. Prices going up. For example, there was a PowerPoint slide that went up that talks about concrete increasing by 50%, asphalt increasing by 35%, traffic signals increasing by 48% in cost, concrete pipe 50% in cost, PVC water lines increasing 200% in cost. All of these will be direct costs that you'll run into when you go to widen our road. Or you could cut some costs and not take the extra 10 to 12 feet you're going to take off of our properties that runs for a mile, all of which will be more money that you'll have to spend. I'm sure the town of Gilbert would like to save some costs. As I'm seeing on previous slides, you're incurring some with other projects. So perhaps you might want to consider that make it 3 lanes, make it 4 lanes, don't have to take the property. There was a cross-section that was presented at a meeting that we came to here that shows that in that 10 to 12 feet extra that you want outside of the 55 regular easement that Maricopa County allows for, that there was a proposed fiber optic line, so not done yet. And then on the other side, there was utilities that are either in place and you don't need to take the land for, because in one case, there's a line that already runs across people's backyard that, that utility already has the easement to access. So therefore, it's unnecessary, which means it's unnecessary cost, which means it would save the town of Gilbert money. And again, I reiterate, you might want to start saving money if we're looking at these costs that you're going to have to incur, replacing pipes, worrying about pipes bursting because of age. So again, I will say, which my neighbor, Rich, has said before, yeah, maybe we're not town of Gilbert residents, but we are your neighbors. So please treat us as so and take what you need, not what you want. Thank you very much.
Terry, and then afterward we'll have Rich Robertson.
Can you hear me okay? I am Terry Natty. I live within the Gilbert planning area. I am in a county island. You all have been inundated with emails from me in the last week and a half, and I truly hope that you've read them. I have been less than kind in my tone within them, and I had a heart-to-heart with my husband. This isn't scripted, by the way, and it's either going to be really good or it's going to suck really bad. I had a heart-to-heart with my husband because I have become someone that I don't know. I am so angry that I have become someone I don't like. I'm all for snarkiness, and I'm all for sarcasm, and I'm all for a good joke, and I can throw them around with the best of them, and I can take them too. But I am so mad that I can't sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night, and I think about this, and I shouldn't be doing that. I should be thinking about, what's my 13-year-old doing at summer camp? But I'm thinking about this, and it's not okay. I have proven in my emails over 8 times, actually more than that, because some of the cross-sections included intersections, that you guys can do this in 55 feet or less. You don't need 55 feet or 65 feet, excuse me. So I made a decision to draw a line in the concrete, not in the sand, and tell you no, that you can't have it. My fence is at 53 feet, and I have offered suggestions on how y'all can do it in 55 and in 53. My suggestions to Fabiano were met with counters, and I countered his counters with other suggestions. I have asked for an opportunity to actually have a conversation and not speak to you, but speak with you. I want to work this out. I don't want to play mama bear who's mad because you messed with my cubs. And I feel that's where I'm at. You messed with my family. Family, please stand up. My new family, my community, please stand up. These are my people. Okay? You didn't just mess with me, you messed with all of us. And a lot of people that aren't here, who aren't speaking because of obligations or whatever reason. Please, please look into your hearts and understand that this is completely unnecessary. Thank you.
Rich Robertson, and then Devon Nelson.
I'm Rich Robertson. I hadn't actually intended to speak tonight, otherwise it were a tie. But when I watched the study session regarding the Western Canal corridor and the volatility of the construction materials, it just kind of all comes together regarding Ocotillo. Staff on the Western Canal corridor provided you with 5 options on how to deal with multiple underground utilities and that are running under people's backyards. Staff clearly put a lot of creative effort into coming up with those range of options, and they're inviting public input. Ocotillo Road has similar problems, has similar encroachment issues and congestion involving underground utilities, but no options and no public input was given for Ocotillo Road. There's no consideration of any other options. But if that's not persuasive enough, the skyrocketing cost that Eric mentioned, the diminished availability of construction materials should. One of the options to mitigate the costs that your staff mentioned was to put a pause button on some of these projects. And I would suggest that Ocotillo Road is one of those. I asked the council to direct the staff just to tap the brakes and to save taxpayer dollars and use that time to come up with design options, just as you are doing with the Western Canal and the Ocotillo Bridge. Thank you.
After Devon, we'll have Jim Torgerson and then Christina Curso.
Good evening, I'm Devon Nelson. I live at 249 East Hemlock in Gilbert. And I want to take the opportunity to thank the council for including us, the homeowners, us, the taxpayers, in your decision for the WW 1060, 1246, and 1546 projects. I want to thank you for taking the year and a half, the time to do a study, and include our concerns. Tonight you were presented with the findings in the study session. We ask at this time, as homeowners and taxpayers, some of us for 45 years or longer, that you take into consideration and remember us and our wishes as you make and choose the correct option that the town and the owners will have to live with. And thank you for your time.
I'm Jim Torgerson. First, I want to take one moment, because my mom said she'd kill me if I didn't mention the chief, that she thoroughly enjoys sitting on the County Island Fire Board and sitting with him every time he shows at a meeting, because she thinks he's just a great guy. And this brings me to why I feel empathetic to Terry. And I can't actually... I'm stunned that what Terry just said actually resonated the way it did, because I want to talk to you on a different level. Every person up here has a degree of empathy. Every human being sitting here is actually at their core a decent human being. We can have our differences, we can say whatever, but every one of you has a heart. And my mom sits on a county island in our family trust, and so she became involved after the town of Gilbert tried to take some land from us. And it's bothering me because the way Terry sounds is exactly the way my mom sounded. And she would wake up and she would be terrified that it was going beyond what needed to happen, beyond what needed to happen. And so we ended up suing the town. And lo and behold, the town wasn't right. The town employed an attorney that they're employing again, who lost Harnish versus Phoenix, which says it's supposed to be the least intrusive manner on the County Island properties. These people, although they aren't your residents, they aren't your voters, they're your neighbors. Some are residents along Ocotillo, but they moved there for a lifestyle, a semi-rural thing, an equestrian thing, County Island freedom, whatever it is. And they are met with an encroachment. They are met with half-truths, and you decide public policy. Staff is supposed to execute it. Staff is executing what it thinks its direction is, or what it feels the direction should be, without asking you, one of the two. But I'm asking you to look at these people as human beings, as people, I'm sorry. It really bothers me, because I watched what it did to my mom, and it bothers me greatly what you're doing here. Look at these people. They are your neighbors. You don't need to have a bridge that looks like it's the end to Fremont Street down the way. You don't need 5 lanes. You don't need a lot of these things. You have certain needs. You do need a bridge. Build your bridge. You do need an extra lane for a fire truck. Absolutely, nobody's going to stand in the way. But be empathetic to these people. Use what is inside of you to think for a minute, to direct this staff to be less intrusive on these people, to do it in the least intrusive manner possible. Thank you for letting me be a little upset here. Thank you.
Christine, then we'll have Anthony Accurso, and then Debbie Gutzwiller. I didn't totally mispronounce that.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Christina Curso. I've lived in Gilbert for 15 years. I'm here to talk again about the commuter rail that's being discussed for the town of Gilbert. A couple of points that have come up in our meetings is that it's being moved to August, and it's just a feasibility study for the 2 stations, downtown Gilbert and Cooley Station. But in your documents of the very agenda item that got moved, actually reads this. The rail feasibility and route impact analysis will be prepared to understand any impacts and design considerations associated with railroad needs, including right-of-way impacts, railroad customer access, sidings, and Amtrak station requirements. Amtrak requirements include platform length and height, anticipated length, to understand impacts to cross streets and pedestrian circulation, baggage storage, transit center access, hours of operation, space requirements, ticketing, safety, and security. So we're not just talking about 2 stations to go in Gilbert and to go down to Queen Creek. We're talking about a train to come through our community. If we're going to do a feasibility study of whether or not we're going to have 2 rail stations, I think we better decide as a community if we want a train coming through our town. There's no public meetings on this. Nobody's talking about it. I had to attend a privately run meeting from community members, and they quoted from every single document they quoted from were town documents or government documents saying what's coming. So either have the kind of conversations that we've had over the years regarding the new park or whatever it's going to be, get input from the community. Don't just put a train running through our town, bringing the homelessness, bringing the drugs, bringing the problems. We need to talk about it. We have a dozen people here today that are really upset about this. Awesome. It's going to take this little community of people that put out these little meetings to keep it going and going and going so that people will know about this. I think it's your responsibility to find out what we want and what we don't, and not just people who read something 5 years ago. We are a different community. We're a growing community. So I think it's time to not just talk to the people in your bubbles, but to get some real input, not just a survey, have conversations. Because this is a really important part of our town. And we all love our town so much. Thank you.
Mayor, Council, my name's Anthony Accurso. I've been a resident of Gilbert for 15 years, and I know there's a lot of people that want to speak tonight, so I'll try to keep this, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll keep this short and sweet. I recently had the ability to go to a community meeting regarding the commuter rail, as well as been doing a lot of my own research on the subject, and frankly, I think it's a 100% terrible, horrendous idea for our community. I realize that this idea is still in its very, very early stages, but the fact that you as a council are considering the study for the feasibility of the rail shows that you're serious about this idea, especially because of the fact that you're using our taxpayer dollars in order to pay for this study. And I'm here to ask you to not spend a dime on anything towards the commuter rail whatsoever.
After Debbie, we'll have Caroline Lober, and then Mark Patrickle. Apologize for any poor pronunciations.
Hello, my name is Debbie Gutzweiler, and just recently you guys have put brand new black sealant in the streets that are in my suburb. And of course, it's completely black, which of course absorbs so much heat. And I have some documents here that I will leave with you guys to read about the urban heat islands. And I'm sure you've probably been aware that the city of Phoenix, the city of LA are conducting what they call cool streets. They coat the surface of the street with something that is not black. I don't know what the material is, but if you were to talk to the city of Phoenix or any other studies that are doing cool pavement studies, as you know, the summers here just keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Every year it's like, this is the hottest summer on record. Well, I now saw a study that said Phoenix is going to be uninhabitable by 2050. That's 30 years away. We got to start doing something. I don't know if we can even stop climate change at this point, but at least try to make it livable. If you're spending money to put black tar coat on the streets as it is, switch to this new product that will at least not absorb so much heat. The data here is all evident that says it shows that they're 12 degrees cooler where they've used the new cool sealant as opposed to using the blacktop. And I will leave this here. And you guys can take it home or take it back to the office and study it, share it, whatever. But I really would like you guys to put an interest into trying to cool off Gilbert in any way you can. And the one that came to my mind was the streets. Thanks.
Thank you, Caroline. Then after Mark, we'll have Jean Fralas.
My name is Caroline Loader, and I wasn't originally going to speak. I've never done this before, so I hope I don't ramble. My husband and I have lived in Gilbert since 2004, and we moved here from Chandler. And I mean, we moved here for, I guess, a variety of reasons. One of them was just Gilbert, it was a neat town. It seemed more rural. Chandler was kind of enclosed, and we just thought it was a neat place to live. And to me, it's a town. It has the name town means something to me. And over the years, since 2004, it's turned into a city. So I don't know why it's still called a town. I guess I forgot to say that I'm here to oppose that commuter rail. And I watched the meeting from April where people actually said, oh yeah, the citizens know about this thing. I didn't know, my husband didn't know. I guarantee you that most people don't know about this thing coming through that you're thinking of doing. There's homes built very close to those tracks. Mine isn't one. It's maybe a mile and a half away or whatever, but it's not right to put something like that going through people's backyards, and especially doing it under the covers where people don't even know. It's just not right. Like, with everything going on now in the country where our money is going to who knows where, this is, to me, I don't know, it's just not right. It's just one more thing that we now have to deal with, where our money, it doesn't matter, our money just, we're not even consulted. So I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Hey gang, my name's Mark Patrick. My wife and I have been residents in Gilbert at Ashland Ranch since 2003. First of all, thank you. Thank you for serving. I've been on boards, I've been on councils, all the firefighters, the chief, the police officers. I mean, what you guys do is tireless, and I appreciate you all keeping our city safe and doing what you do every day for us, so thanks. We recently also attended a light rail meeting and learned about this light rail. And I'm in opposition of it, but more than the opposition to the light rail, from my perspective, I've been doing communication training for 30 years. And if there's one way you want to make someone across the table from you upset, don't tell them what's going on or surprise them. And I was surprised when I went to the meeting and learned about this light rail. I also work for an organization worldwide that does expense reduction. As you can imagine, business is good for us right now. Everyone needs expense reduction. Inflation is ridiculous. Supply chain is ridiculous. You know, as you're looking at these big projects, understand that, I mean, even to go buy a used car right now is 30 or 40% higher than it was 4 years ago. So everything's going to be more expensive. You know, when I think about government agendas, it means typically tax increases. And with everything else going up the way that it is right now, price-wise, It's getting more and more difficult. My home taxes went up substantially this year. So is the value of my home. Okay, and I credit you guys for that, for the community, so thanks. But I just wanted to say, I watched the 426 video, the discovery video of the council, and I thought it was really fascinating. I'm looking forward to the August 23rd meeting when I think there'll be some more conversation around this. And I support our community, and I love this community. And again, thank you guys for taking time to listen to us and for considering the effect that this is going to have on the Gilbert community. Thank you.
After Jean, we have Jenny Jones and then Marianne Schwartz.
Hi, my name is Jean Frakes, and I'm only talking loud because I can't hear in this beautiful acoustic building that we taxpayers probably paid for. So I'm going to talk a little loud. I moved here in '79 with my husband, and Gilbert was glorious. How many of you have been here since '79? Raise your hand, please. None of you? Okay, so anyway, in '79, the 60 only went as far as Country Club, and then it was a dirt road from then on. Gilbert was glorious. We had the Gilbert Promotional Corporation doing fabulous parades, hundreds and hundreds of horses. You just can't even believe it if you weren't here then, how great that was. Our house many times I thought was going to get hit by a crop dusting plane. It was just a beautiful community of farmers. Now look at it. Every week when I drive to go golfing with my friend, she complains and complains. Where is this water going to come from? Look at all these apartments buildings. And I said to her over and over again, why didn't you go to the town council and complain? And then I thought to myself, why didn't I go to the town council and complain and try to stop this? As I drove here tonight, I looked over at all of these apartments and I'm just flabbergasted, because when we moved to our home, you couldn't build a 2-story home because they didn't want to take away from the beauty. What do we have now? Look at the apartments when you leave home tonight. Now, this is because people have not spoken up. Tonight, I'm not here about that. Tonight, I'm here about the commuter rail. How many of you have taken the light rail from Mesa and to Phoenix? Raise your hand. Okay, so on a Saturday night, what do you see? Homeless, drunks, druggies. Pretty much that's all I'm afraid to even get on that light rail. I have a friend who has a business on Main Street in Mesa. She couldn't be here tonight. She wanted to oppose the commuter rail too. I don't want a train station near my home on Gilbert Road or anywhere with homeless encampments, crime. We don't need this commuter rail. I'm going on right now and I'm coming to every meeting to oppose the commuter rail. We don't need it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jenny Jones, and I've lived in Gilbert for 25 years, and I appreciate that you're giving your time to help us and giving me the opportunity to express my opposition to the commuter rail. But in my opinion, it's going to increase crime. It's, we don't really need it, because have you ever noticed our buses are empty? And it's going to raise our taxes, and I just think it's going to change the whole atmosphere of our beautiful town. So I'm expressing my opposition to it, and I'm going to inform all my neighbors, because I just accidentally heard about this, and I just accidentally I went to a funeral the other day, and I was driving in Mesa, and I used to live in Mesa. And I could not believe how that has changed with that light rail going down Main Street in Mesa. And I used to live in a little community real near that light rail. And I know it brings in people that are on drugs, and I just think it's not good for our community. So I hope you take that into consideration. Thank you.
After Marianne, we'll have Jason Temerns, and then Mario Chicas, and that's all the slips I have.
Hello.
I'm going to be repeating just what you just heard. When I found out about the commuter rail, light rail, I call it, it was like, I've got to go down Main Street or Main in Mesa and just see. And I was just shocked to see what I saw. And I do not ever want to see that happen to our beautiful Gilbert. Gilbert is such a beautiful place. I've been here 24 years in Gilbert. And I don't want to see what happened in Mesa happen here. Plus, who's going to be using the light rail? I mean, it's like, really? Most of us all have cars. And like Jenny just said now, buses, they're empty. Maybe they all collect, in the morning at a superstition and go into town for business, work. That's great. But when I see all these buses and absolutely no one or one person is on that bus, I'm going, really? Several years ago, one of my bosses said to me, I don't know why we have all of these buses. It would be cheaper to buy cars for these people instead of having all these buses running with no one on them. And I feel the same way about the commuter rail. There is no reason for it, and I would hate to see it and what it would do to our community. And the homes, most people have these nice homes. They've done a lot to their homes, and then all of a sudden have a light rail going through? Really? And I know Queen Creek feels the same way. So thank you, but no thank you to the light rail. And I know I am telling so many people that have never heard of it. So we have to get the word out, and we have to express that, no, this does not need to be in our community. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Jason Tamura. I'm a resident here of Gilbert since 2011. I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and my family, and then the company that I work for, in the opportunity to have our business license or our right-of-way license with wired fiber approved this evening. We're looking to do something that I think will benefit all of our community in bringing some affordable next-generation fiber optic internet, and we're very excited. I'm very excited to be able to do that because I think we're going to be doing something fantastic for all of us, and I'm happy to be up here to share that. And I also want to say I'm super happy about seeing how well you've engaged our community. This is like my third time here, and I much like the younger ladies before me, definitely need to attend more often, right? This is a great place to share what we're thinking and how we're feeling, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me okay? My name is Mario Chicas, and first I want to say thank you, Mayor and Council, for your time. On April 26th, there was a meeting right here, and a council member said that the public is well aware of commuter rail coming to Gilbert. And another council member said that if this council member went to her neighborhood and asked 100 of her neighbors who knew about commuter rail, she guesstimated at 0. So there's been a lot of talk here about that the public doesn't know what's going on about commuter rail. And so I've taken an unofficial tally of people, what we would call a poll, of 79 people since that April 26th date. And I can tell you that 0 of those people know about commuter rail. I want to make sure that you hear me, so I'm standing kind of weird here. I don't know if I can move this thing or what. You can hear me okay. So 0 out of 79 people, no. These are well-educated voters. These are not people that are just passerby. Well-educated, they know what's going on. They know what HB stands for when you talk about a House bill, okay? 0 out of 79. So more importantly, 0 out of 79 want commuter rail coming to Gilbert. So, the public, in absence of information, is going to make up what they think is happening, which is commuter rail is being shoved down their throat without them wanting it, without us knowing exactly what the expense is going to be of this commuter rail. I know there's government money coming, and so it's easy to take government money because it's somebody else's money, right? Well, it's our tax money. Commuter rail does not belong in Gilbert. I asked the council, if you're truly representing what the people want, it's not commuter rail. 0 out of 79. So let's play with the numbers a little bit. Let's say that the next 21 people I ask say yes, they want it. That's 21%. That's still not a majority. That's not how we do things. If you represent the people, then do what the people want. It's been chronicled very well about tax, record inflation, groceries are up, everything's up. The council is going to ask us for more money for bridges and parks, and all kinds of different things. Everything is going up. I'm in distribution. I can tell you we've had 3, 4, 5 price increases from vendors, so whatever this thing is going to cost way more than that. Thank you for your time.
Right on the dot. That concludes our communications from citizens. We can move to our consent agenda.
Please.
I have requests to pull item 28A, 24A, and item 11. And we'll do a mass motion on the, unless there's something else that I didn't capture that anybody else wants to pull. And after that, we'll kind of work in reverse order from 28A to 24A to 11.
Vice Mayor. Oh,
yes, please.
Sorry.
Wow. No need to shout, Councilwoman Tilke.
Could you just say those numbers again?
Yes, we're pulling 28A, 24A, and 11. And if there's no other agenda items that are desired to be pulled, consider a motion to approve 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10A, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23A, 23B, 23C, 24, 24AB, if we can do it that way, and 25, 25A, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Hope you caught all that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Oh, mine's not even showing up.
Kelsey. First vote of the night, sometimes this happens.
Motion passes unanimously. Mayor, item 28A.
I wanted to pull item 28A so that I can read the description on the agenda and to recognize the person that we're discussing this evening. After an extensive nationwide recruitment and application process for the Gilbert Fire Chief, 5 top candidates participated in a 3-day, multifaceted interview process that included a broad range of perspectives representing public safety, community, nonprofit, business, emergency medical, town leadership, executive, and employee viewpoints and priorities. After thorough evaluation, the town manager has selected Rob Duggan to be appointed as Gilbert's next fire chief. Assistant Chief Duggan has served 23 years with the town of Gilbert, with the past 7 years as an assistant fire chief. He holds a master's in public administration from Park University that I got to see him earn like a month ago. Congratulations. The title of executive officer from the National Fire Academy, and is a graduate of Gilbert Leadership, class 25. Class 25. Per the town personnel rules, the fire chief is appointed by and serves at will and at the pleasure of the town manager. Additionally, the appointment of the fire chief is confirmed by the council. I move to approve the appointment of Rob Duggan as fire chief for the town of Gilbert.
I'll second.
Please vote.
Keep you in suspense.
That's not nice. Motion passes 7-0. If I could have Rob and your wife Sally come down and join us. If you would like to have your brother Jim and sister Stephanie also, we'd love to have you down front. Rob and his wife Sally have one daughter, Maddie, and I'm assuming she's in New York City, correct? She's on FaceTime. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Maddie. Come on over, Rob. So first, I want to be the first one to shake your hand. Congratulations. You don't take effect until July 11th because, as we said earlier, Chief Joe Bush is still our chief until July 7th. Correct. Sally, thank you and congratulations. Thank you for offering your husband up as the 4th fire chief ever in the town of Gilbert. And I know you're very excited. You've been part of the fire family for a very long time, and I look forward to working with you in this new role. Would you like to say a few words?
Just a bit. The theme in this really is gratitude and appreciation, and first, to Sally. It's just been my rock through this process. She's been a part of all promotional processes through my career. They're all difficult and stressful, as our crews know. This one was a doozy, but again, to come out the other end without the support of her, couldn't have done that. Also, my family, my parents couldn't be here, brother and sister, just a lifetime of support along the way. All those that are here, individuals that were part of individual and professional successes. I see most of cohort 1 here. We've got something special going here, and individual success of our group is bound by the group. We celebrate everything together now, and it's a pretty special group, and we're a force to be reckoned with. So it's awesome to see everyone here today to share on this as well. Through that, to all the fire crews, the amazing work they do in taking care of our citizens. Chief Jobish, of course, for the mentorship and allowing us to continue and be there to support us. Let us run our divisions for Bob and I, but then to be there to support us along the way has been amazing through that process as well. Obviously, Mayor, Council, Town Manager's Office, thank you for the trust with this responsibility, and let everyone know that I'm dedicated to continuing the tradition and the legacy of the 3 previous fire chiefs and ensuring the safety of our community and our citizens. And just want to finish up. Thank you for everyone that was here to be a part of honoring Chief Joe Bush along the way in those processes, which is a beautiful thing for your retirement. And just one last thank you again to Sally. We did it. To the group, we did it. So thank you for all that were a part of that. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. I would say that your interview process was just shy of Hunger Games, right? I mean, it is an intense process the town of Gilbert puts you through when you're going to take a position like this one. And you made it through, and we expect the best out of you. Cohort 1 that he's referring to is the master's group that went to Park University all together, and we did just get to see them graduate. I got to be a speaker at their graduation, so I'm so proud of all of them. So proud of you. We've known each other since 2014 now, so proud of you, and how far you've come in this time. Congratulations. We need to get a photo of all of us together. Would you like Sally in it too? And I would like to ask Chief Joe Bush to come down for a photo also. And they did pick up on the fact that I was wearing red for fire tonight because we had a big night with our fire department. Vice Mayor?
All right, yes, item 24A, I pulled this item. This is another federal grant. And I know I've talked about this on multiple agendas, but I just wanted to point something out because I've been asked recently, actually twice, why I tried to pull these items and vote against federal grants. And I'll say that in particular to item 24A, there's kind of two facets of it. I know the state legislature's just made very significant investments in water. I think that's a great thing. Hopefully some of those, appropriations will funnel down to some of the local projects that are needed in kind of this, this water shortage everybody's facing as a state. But then additionally, I just wanted to say that I think that we have a tendency to, when we accept federal monies, to drive policy. And when we say yes to money that has strings attached, not that that's specific to this item in particular, a lot of times we let the money drive the policy instead of the other way around. And so I think that's another negative effect of taking federal money. Obviously, we had a pretty in-depth presentation on costs of inflation, and if we could get back to the fundamentals of understanding that generally a good factor of that is excessive government spending. It does take a shift in mentality. I know it's difficult. I know no one community wants to do it because it's going to go somewhere, but I do think that you don't solve a problem with the same mentality, and if more communities took that stand, then that would be something that hopefully would catch fire, and we would all start holding our own selves responsible first, and maybe that would start to make a dent, because if we're going to rely on Congress to do that, that's never going to happen. I really do think it has to come from the local level up. So I'd like to vote separately on this one.
Councilmember Anderson?
Just one comment. I'll keep this brief, but I understand what the Vice Mayor is talking about, and I understand that perfectly about federal funds, but I do want to remind the council we've just entered into phase one of our water shortage plan. Phase one, it has to do with education, helping the public understand the importance of water conservation and efficiency, and whatever kind of money we can use to put into that program is going to benefit the town of Gilbert in the long run. And I especially think that we should keep ourselves well aware of that as we go down the path of educating the public a little bit more about water and the role it plays in our growth.
Would you like to make a motion, Councilman Anderson?
Yes, move approval of item 24A.
Second.
Yes, Councilman September, you pulled item 11.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So I pulled item 11. Item 11 is a memorandum of understanding and cost reimbursement agreement with the FBI and the Greater Phoenix Area Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. The purpose of this is to collaborate state and federal resources conducting child exploitation and anti-human trafficking investigations. A little over 2 years ago, when I was appointed to town council, I learned for the first time about the issue that we have here in Phoenix and even in the East Valley and even right here in Gilbert with the sexual exploitation of our children. And I was disgusted by it. I was moved. It's an issue for me. I got involved personally with a group called CC's Hope Center. I'm on their board. They provide wraparound services for girls rescued from trafficking. The other thing I did was I met with Chief Solberg, and I spent time with him talking about what is Gilbert doing to combat this. And Gilbert is active in anti-trafficking activities, but this was something that the Chief was working on for some time. And I want to thank Chief Solberg, and I want to thank Patrick Banger, our town manager, for prioritizing this and getting it on this budget for this budget cycle. A detective has already been identified who's going to fill this role, and this Gilbert detective is going to work with the FBI. The FBI is going to pay for some of the overtime. They're going to provide a vehicle, and we get to have a detective that will be a force multiplier against this scourge in our town and in the East Valley. This is a crime that does not have jurisdictional boundaries. It transcends that. And so to be able to use those FBI resources to pursue the people that are exploiting our children, I think is a huge benefit. And I just wanted to acknowledge that and acknowledge the people who made this possible. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Councilman September, would you like to make a motion?
I would, thank you. I move to approve item number 11.
Second.
Item carries unanimously. Now we are concluded with consent agenda.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. We'll move on to our public hearing portion of our agenda. We have 4 liquor licenses and 2 general plan / zoning cases. And is there anything that anyone would like to have a separate presentation on, or could we address this with one vote? I'm just going to look down the aisle. I think we're good. I would open the public hearing. We don't have any slips for anyone to speak. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and I would take a motion to approve items 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember September, seconded by Councilmember Anderson. Please vote. Motion passes 7-0. Moving on to our administrative items, we have a council administrative item to consider adoption of a resolution designating the chief fiscal officer to submit the FY 2022-2023 expenditure limitation report to the Office of the Arizona Auditor General. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Mayor.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Tilke. Please vote. We need a vote screen, sorry.
I apologize, the system powered off.
Uh-oh.
Do you mind doing a voice vote for this one?
Sure. Please, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chiavelli. And next on to item number 37, boards, commissions, and committees. Any reports from council on boards, commissions, and committees? Seeing none, I will move to policy item, consider approval of Council Policy Item 2022-02 regarding policies of responsible financial management, repealing policy number 2021-02. Any comments, discussions, or could I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Tilkey.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember September. Can we vote, Chiavelli? No. Can I have all in favor? Please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all. And communications. Report from the town manager on current events.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple items tonight. First, congratulations to Fire Chief Rob Duggan, and thank you to everybody that participated in that process. It is a grueling process. We put all of our senior executives through for key positions, and I'm sure for all the candidates, they probably felt like half our community and organization interviewed them at one point or another, but we wish him the best of luck. He leads a great team of people in Gilbert Fire and Rescue, and we look forward to all the great things to come under his leadership with that team. Second, on a sad note, you'll recall last October we recognized Mark Hunsaker for 25 years of service to the town of Gilbert, and he retired and wished him well. He lived in Gilbert with his wife and family, and he touched many of our lives in the community and in this organization through the years with his friendship and kindness. He passed away last Tuesday. It was heartbreaking news for all of us. At his funeral service, everyone commented on that you never came across Mark, they didn't have a smile on his face. And he always has a positive thing to say about everybody that he interacted with. And it really touched people. And he will be missed greatly by his wife and his family, as well as all the friends he made at the town of Gilbert in his 25 years of service. So we wish him and his family the best, and we will keep them in our prayers. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Patrick. Any reports from members of the council on current events? No? Report from the mayor on current events. First, I want to recognize the fact that 4th of July is coming up, and there's a great program going on at Gilbert Regional Park and an opportunity to register for that on the town's website. So please feel free to visit that. I wanted to offer a little breaking news that Rob Bohr shared with me this afternoon, and the Tilda Manor Group Home on Wild Horse Drive in Gilbert officially has its license revoked by the state. This all stemming from the murder investigation of the group home back in April of 2021. I wanted to recognize Patrick and Rob and Kyle, and I think who else met with us? Chief Solberg. We met with AZDHS on this topic, and we spent a lot of time discussing how we as a town could support our residents. And it was really great to see Erica Stapleton from Channel 12, who I was able to do a sit-down interview with back in the fall about this topic, be able to report this outcome. So congratulations to the neighbors in that neighborhood. I'm very pleased to hear that news today. I also wanted to share a water statement, and Councilmember Anderson mentioned it a few minutes ago. Due to the historic and worsening conditions on the Colorado River, the town of Gilbert joined our regional partners by activating the first stage of our water supply reduction management plan on June 20th, 2022. There is no immediate impact to Gilbert's ability to meet the needs of our community and deliver water to homes and businesses, but it's time to make conscious efforts to conserve. Stage 1 is aptly named Water Education and focuses on providing our community with additional education and tools to use water efficiently. Gilbert will continue to lead by example, and you can expect to see heightened efforts by the town to decrease municipal water usage, and we have been preparing for shortages for decades and will continue to do so through significant investments in infrastructure, diversifying water supplies, underground water storage, and our extensive water conservation programs. If you would like to learn more, please visit gilbertaz.gov/water shortage. I have a slide going up about the upcoming election. We have a primary election here in Gilbert on August 2nd. 4 town council seats with 4-year terms beginning January of 2023. Information provided by council candidates can be found by visiting gilbertaz.gov and typing candidate information in the search bar. You can also visit beballotready.vote, log into your personal dashboard to view your voting history, see a sample ballot, and find polling locations. Since this is the end of the fiscal year and our last meeting until August, we don't meet in the month of July, I want to just take a moment to do something that I don't feel is done enough. This year, much like the last few, once again, proved to have its hardships and obstacles for many Gilbert departments to overcome, and my hope is the next fiscal year is a bit easier for everyone. I just want to say thank you to all of Gilbert's 1,400 plus employees for your dedication to working each day and providing, maintaining, and innovating the services, policies, and facilities instrumental to all of Gilbert's stakeholders. Your hard work is noticed and appreciated. I also want to extend a thank you to the members of this town council. You put in a lot of hours and time, and I know that takes you away from your families, just like we discussed earlier with our chiefs. It takes a lot of time away from your own families to come here and to serve the members of this community. And I know sometimes it's a very thankless job, but you all do it, I think, for the right reasons. And thank you for offering your time to our community. We will adjourn this meeting, and we will see you back here August 9th.
Mayor Peterson, can you recess the meeting?
Sorry. I recessed the meeting
Thank you.
because we're going to executive session. Thank you.